More than half of Missouri public and charter schools showed significant improvements in areas like attendance and literacy over the past year. This news comes out as the state education department releases its annual performance report. WGEM Missouri Capitol reporter Hannah Falcon breaks down how these scores could impact school district state funding.
Just like a student gets graded, Missouri's public schools are graded. The rubric looks at standardized test scores, student career readiness, and attendance.
Whenever we talk about are our kids doing okay, we always want to know, can our kids read? Can they do math?
DESE Commissioner Carla Esslinger celebrates the improved performance scores of Missouri public schools, and it could mean good news for school funding if the governor's plan to base it on performance moves forward. At the beginning of the year, Governor Mike Kehoe ordered a group to rewrite the formula used to determine Missouri's public school funds.
There was one aspect of the executive order that actually said to consider performance funding. And I know that the work group, there's actually a work group that is a subgroup of the entire task force that is focusing on just that.
Educator turned lawmaker Kathy Steinhoff is worried about the future of Missouri public schools.
So I'm very concerned about the task force and what they're working on as potential changes to funding in the future, especially since the governor's directive was to flatten out the funding.
Although schools were fully funded this year, public schools now have to compete with charter and private schools for money.
I would much rather us see focus on making all of our Missouri public schools the best places for kids to learn and funding them appropriately.
Right now, we don't know what those performance-based metrics for funding look like, but a full report has to be completed by December 2026. Reporting in Jefferson City, I'm Hannah Falcon.